Morning, everyone. We're getting our coffee game in. Um, Today we have a very special opponent. He was the top 10 in the world at one time. The great legend Berta from ICC. Who knows who Berta was? That's Ulf Andersson. Now, Ulf Andersson played on ICC every day for God knows how long. And we must have had about 200 games. And when he got the grip on you, you would toast. Like he wasn't the greatest blitz player and bullet player, but he was so good. Like forget it with the queens off, and if he had you by the short and curlies, he was taking you out. Like he really knew how to finish. Great technique. So I always tried to make things extremely complicated with him. And in this game, he believed me. I bluffed him, and we had double hallucination, and it was all crazy. And my opening sucked, but in the end, we delivered an interesting fantasy, and I will share that with you today. So we had the d4, d5, knight f3. This has all been done 70 billion times. Bishop e2 or bishop d3, as you like. More standard bd2, bd3. All right, whatever. So we get this one. It's happened over and over again. You can do the e4s here. You can do the a3, knight e4. In this game, I chose knight e4, and the idea is c5. You play knight c5, dc, bishop c5, b3. This is the main thing. They have two bishops aiming at you, and you have two bishops aiming at them, and it's roughly equal. Nobody has anything, which is very nice. So we went for knight e4, and then when he went c5, I just, decided to do something different. It's not a good move. And black is all of a sudden. I showed it to Alexander Lesige, and he was laughing. He said, nah, ain't it right. You gotta take, but it's okay. It's only slightly worse for white now. In like 11 moves to be slightly worse with white, or some 10 moves, whatever it is. It just takes a special talent. But you have to understand, I want to keep the pieces on. And I want to bring, like, I know I'm playing b3, and I figure I'll just have two bishops aiming at the guy's king, and the knights will jump over there too. And it's every, park player's fantasy to, keep its, keep, like, have the mud to be living in the mud. Like if I was a horse, I'd be a mudder. I'd be a horse that prefers to run in the slop. I don't need a fast track, and I don't want to go wire to wire. I want to be a closer in the mud, and that's what I am. So bishop e7. To take advantage of this directly, maybe you should just go h5, or some bishop d6 or combination with h5 to punish this knight on g3 for, making a bunch of moves in a row. And but he went like this, and then we got kind of what we want, is to eventually put on sack a knight on f5 and deliver some ridiculous mate. And now we have, I don't think it's so bad anymore. I don't think I think Lesige said that black was still better. And if we put the analysis on, he's probably right. Because I gave the guy like several difficult chess puzzles to solve, and he solved them all relatively fast. I believe it. But it's we know that this is coming. Oh, I should have asked you here. What is every park player's fantasy? Right? Is queen on h5. Every player loves a queen on h5, especially with a bishop on d3. Everybody loves that. You know what I mean? But there's more. Queen b6 is coming. And so Why did I go knight h5? It's because we have delusional aspirations. And, sometimes when you're hallucinating, your opponent just believes you, right? I guess I have an honest face. If you could see it through the machine, you say, no, this guy, he's not bluffing me here. He's not bluffing. But sometimes, you look at and give you that little angel look, and you just have to click call. But I wear shades online when I'm playing cards, so it's not so simple. Anyway, what's the idea? I was thinking I would go knight g7 and then go queen h5. Knight h5, knight f5, king g8, knight takes e7 mate, or knight h6 mate. You can pick which one you want. There's only one problem. It just doesn't work. It's nice to have big ideas, to go up on top of a building and jump off and think you can fly. But then there's small details, like king g6. Just going into the double check. Knight takes e7 and king h6, and you have nothing. I have nothing. But luckily, I look honest. And my opponent, since we were playing all the time, I think he just believed me. And so he didn't eat it. If he eats it, it's knight f5. I was just thinking king g8 and the game is over. So it was a small mistake that was actually a very big mistake. And however, the reason I'm showing this game is for an exercise for you. He went rook c5. And now the game is over. So you can stop your video, or maybe you just see it all in an instant. So, 96. You cannot take it because queen h7 is mate, right? The knight on f6 will be pinned. So that only leaves king g8. And the next move, queen h6, threatening queen g7 mate. Now you could lose a queen. He could take queen takes e6, and then bishop h7, king over, bishop f5, king over, and you eat the queen on e6. But I wonder if he was a little disgusted that he realized that he could have taken it. And so he just capitulated with fe. And then we got this mate with the knight pinned. So the point is, it's okay to have a big idea, but you have to check the small details. The little details are what really separates the top people from, good players. Your memory has to be awesome to be super top. And they say, how does Ulf miss something like this? Well, it's blitz. I would have seen it also if but I the temptation was too great. All right, obviously, everyone needs a coffee. Later, y'all.